How did we get here? I used to be in such a dark place a few weeks ago, and I dealt with some of the toughest things last year. The things that completely broke my spirit, the things that made me almost give up on my dreams. It made me question who I am, what I'm capable of, what I was born for. So, how did we end up here? You exhausted so much energy, not just on the wrong people, but also like your departure from them. Because a time came in which life gave you no option but to leave, whether it was voluntary or out of your control. But you were pushed out, or people were pushed out of your life. And you exhausted a lot of your energy on the departure, on the detachment from the situation. But I'm glad you did. You felt as angry as you could. You cried as much as you could. You spoke and expressed everything that you were feeling until you could no more. And you had plenty of sleepless nights. You had many lazy days that felt like a waste because you couldn't manage to get up off of bed to handle the things on your to-do list, because you couldn't find that motivation to fight for your dreams anymore, because the dreams that you had, they were broken, they were destroyed. The dreams of a happy future were almost eliminated by certain people who have no interest in doing anything positive for you. And I'm glad that you processed everything, the ups and downs, as many times as you didn't know how things were going to get fixed, how it would turn out, how you were going to get out of this funk. But I'm proud because you had a lot of guts and a lot of courage to handle everything that was given to you, that was presented to you in the way that you did. And you've become more aligned and like super tight with your intuition because you know it never fails you. You've never been wrong about people. When you felt something was off, intuition. When you sensed that something wasn't right, intuition. When things got exposed and you found out about it, your body was like screaming that I shouldn't fix this because I can't, because if I try, it's just not going to happen. I cannot get through to people. They're not going to change. All of that was intuition and pattern recognition. So you deserve to breathe. And if you're in a phase of your life that feels uncertain, if you're going through some sort of like stagnant part of your life, embrace it. Because you call it stagnant. I call it peace. You call it lack of progress. I call it calmness. Who is rushing you? Who is rushing you? What are you afraid that you're going to miss out on? Because it's not going to be your blessings. Every opportunity that is meant for you is reserved for you. Nobody can take that from you. Whatever was taken never belonged on your final chapter, like through the end of time. It was not meant to be permanent. Temporary people came to teach you permanent lessons. It is time that you get out of this funk. It is time that you start to water your grass again. It is time that you let go of anything in your space that feels like dead weight, that is more closely aligned with that older version of you. It is time that you stop reaching out to or responding to people that you just don't vibe with anymore. You don't have to explain how you feel. You don't have to justify your decisions. You don't have to always jump to conclusions and block them or make like major drastic changes. But you can distance yourself from anything that you just don't have the time or energy or interest in taking on. And you will start saying no more often. You will start delaying you providing whatever people are asking from you. And sometimes you will deny showing up, going there, lending the money, hosting, preparing something for them, buying something for them. You're gonna start to enforce your boundaries. And I want you to know that it's okay if you piss them off. Because it's funny how the moment that you start to demand more from people or you start to limit access, then you become the villain. You've changed. You were not like this. What happened? It's funny how when you enforce boundaries, people portray you as a villain because that's what that means to them. You were the hero when you were overgiving, overextending yourself, over providing at your own sacrifice. But now that you're being more selective with your time, that you're being more selective with the connections that you nourish, that you work on, now that you're doing that, suddenly you're the bad guy. Why? You have the right to say no. They don't always help you. I bet you that if they're asking you for money, if you ask them for money too, they don't have it. Or they would be like, oh, I can't. I gotta pay bills. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. So why are we measuring you with a different ruler, a different set of standards and expectations? Nope. Same expectations apply to them. I don't know how you do it. It's so easy for you. How do you do this? How did you get that? How did you learn that? Figure it out, buddy. I had to. And nobody taught me. I had to search for it. I had to go out there and figure it out and find solutions and go through trial and error till I got the right result. Paris may be significant, France, Paris, Europe, but you're feeling like every night that you go to, every time it's like an upgrade. When you're dreaming, you're receiving upgrades. When you're working on something, you're downloading, you're channeling messages. When you see symbols, you understand that they're meant to trigger something in you, whether it is comfort to know that you're on the right, like you're on the right path, that you're making the right call, that you're on the right direction, or whether it is a sign trying to prevent you from doing something that perhaps is not the best. But I see shifts. I see like new set of curtains, whether that is like a spiritual message, but you're gonna be like walking through a stage, and I see people clapping for you, and I see them loving who they see, but I see new faces. You don't know these faces. Many of these faces you have not encountered yet. But oh man, you're gonna be receiving your accolades. You're gonna be celebrated. You're gonna be appreciated. And it all starts with you giving yourself that. Finally loving you the way that you've been loving others. Finally showing up for you the way that you've been showing up for others. Finally giving yourself in your life the opportunities that you've been giving others.